So we're beginning to wind down now. You'll notice this video is significantly shorter than the others. It's still almost 20 minutes, but it's still definitely shorter. First, we're going to start off by using the Moon Gate, and we're simply going for a piece of Verdite right now. We are heading in the direction of an important item also, however. But we'll cover that when we get to it. Where we're heading now is back to the old woman in the rocking chair. She's obviously dead and gone, but her son, Leon I believe his name is, will now be there, and we're going to trade him our dark crystal. With this crystal, he makes the best weapon in the game, or at least arguably the best weapon. Now the trick is that the weapon won't be completed until after we defeat Necron, the boss before the last. If you recall, I told you to put the sun key here in the save point across from this chamber, which is Necron's chamber. These four doors on our right and left are to the four mini-bosses we have to kill before we can fight Necron in this main door. And we do have to fight and kill them all in a row, all five of them. If you leave to heal or save, then they all come back. First, however, as you can see, we're going to explore. There's a path to both the right and left of Necron's door that treasure can be found in. There's not a whole lot that's great to the right, but to the left we will find our last light crystal. took a moment to show you here that the door is locked from the inside. If you want out, you do have to warp again. Okay, this next area, the space for completion, is probably the hardest area in the game. I don't recommend going in here unless you really, really want to collect everything. The only thing to get in here is one piece of armor, and it's not even worth using if you've been following my guide. Alright, as I mentioned, you do have to fight all 4 mini-bosses in a row before fighting Necron, also in a row. The first one is basically just a big knight, and he's definitely the easiest. All you do is circle around him and attack him like the other knights. He doesn't really seem to move any faster. Of course, he hits a little harder, but he's a simple one to kill. The second mini-boss is a giant ice golem, and as you can see, we've equipped our firewall spell, and I do recommend using it, especially if you're a lower level. This guy can pack quite a punch. The third mini-boss is another Earth Elemental. He's not much different than the other Earth Elemental boss you've already faced. He gets a little stronger, he takes a little longer to kill, but he's basically the same. Now this boss, the big demon, is where we make use of our freeze spell. It's the first time we really need it, and in my opinion you definitely do. What's aggravating about this boss that both he and Necron share is that they have the ability to move away from you quickly and turn quickly. So they put some distance in that you have to make up and then turn and strike you at the same time you can strike them. That's where the freeze spell comes in handy, because it stops him in his tracks, and though it only gives you 1 or 2 hits at most, it also deals damage at the same time. Make sure when you kill him to grab the 2,000 gold in the chest. Even if you don't need it, better to have it than not. You're going to see me warp out, and there's a good reason why. This is probably the best spot for experience in the whole game. All you have to do is warp out after you defeat the 4 mini-bosses, and then enter back in, and they will be restored. And it's a good way to get yourself to the low to mid 30s, which is a great place to finish the game at. Now, the reason Necron is such a pain is because of three specific moves he has. The first two are as follows. One is an up-close attack where he hits you a bunch of times in a row, does a bunch of damage. The second one is one where he pounds his fist on the ground and a ring of fire comes out from him. Both of these, however, are worth being hit by if it means stopping him from doing his worst technique. If you get too far away from him, and sometimes he even does it when he's close, Necron will do this jumping uppercut type move that releases homing missiles into the air. They're difficult to dodge and do a ton of damage, so it's best to try and stay close to him as much as you can.